No abapa ho semano aduasa eha ye Adom TV. The big agenda jumadi ebrena so ye de ema na enne enkomo a ye hye no civil society organizations ya womo ewo governance na anti corruption se womo ebehye se oman mu no womo ebekasa etie dwemudie keta se kankan ene proye ne se oman no ebete so no womo eche se aban no enhya se na nimanim ya no won hye na bill bi eda emrase bedwafie no womo enyi sa bill no entum womo susu se so womo gituma ebeboa ama obi a oye abandwuma anasa aban ama na appointment no kwan obefo so ye ne niema ne ni ya obeda na die ene sede obesi ede ne ho afa no ne nyina no emra no eka ho asem nti omu susue ne se emra no eba ebeboa na asosa ne ma ne nyina no ama obi a ada enioma ne subapadi ewo omayi mu eye bill ban na omu a omu ka ho asem no eye koku ahe na ewo civil society organizations mu a womo eka sasem no we mu komo na yebedi no anwumre yi edin amegye so ene abena pokoa ahwennie DBS Industries Limited womo akofa edan so bonyema eye papa ediaba enti afie na wusi no bebo so a eye DBS na wasanso ma 20 years warranty ebra watokalaling plastic ni bia wo de bebo edan so body ahemfie no eye DBS wonom anye dwumako a wo bo miti dom anwumre yi meba sisia Mamema wakwaba ebiemu emra de big agenda dwumadie so se de medi kan e de eto wanim no ye ba behye eno no ye public draft no ye conduct of public officers bill 2022 na eno na ye CSOs no esusu se ebetumi aboa ama obi a oya abandwuma obi okita ayaban appointment no obedresu ban padie na watene ho aye adwuma ne ye emu nkomo na ye bedie no na owura ye ne edi nkomo ye Emmanuel Wilson Jr. Oye chief crusader at the CSOs in governance and anti corruption ima Majoe
Yaminya
Pachobokodi
Yami Adom ho na efe
bedase ni hu so achepa
pa o se won hwehwe me
bibia be fine
mate
bibia be fine na yenhye bill ya mo ka ho asem on president say omoa na ye passage no en go through in term no ye den bill gina ho madan.
Well, so the code of conduct for public officers bill 2022 no ye bill a eboa ema ye streamlining how public officials, especially politicians, be behaving afa. You see, most of the times, there are a lot of conduct, and some of this conduct from the public officials, a conduct a border on corruption. And when who be here, in fact, who here pass say bit to me pass this bill, so that bill no be boa, especially anti-corruption agencies and institutions, public ones, governmental ones, aye one. And who be here pass this bill no ebe koso ebe mark these institutions no that strength so don't be to me I implement it na omo observe how are the public officials no be conduct omo afa when they do that ebe minimize the way and manner corruption it take place in this country. Now what we need to know is this bill a bill ya submit ama cabinet over a year now. In the enye adefofro over a year now, getting to 2 years or so.
Okay.
Ekoda cabinet. Eye yen wanwa kese pan say all this while no cabinet led by the president and vice president omunya sa ahonkeka na etisa omobe approve for it to go to parliament. Na they do parliament and parliament and so omaya de etisa omoye na ba be law. The fundamental thing this bill no seeks to achieve. And it's a giving strong effect to chapter 24 of your 1992 constitution.
Okay.
Now read it, chapter 24 now. It talks about public servants. For instance, say offer bill no now go through the content now. There are some issues it dwells on. Current laws are your one doesn't give so much credence to. First one, asset declaration. So, Oshe the bill, Oshe content of the bill now, it gives the various anti-corruption agencies and wording to really probe into whether or not these public officials so we declare assets. Say ample assets we declare the right assets and any the right assets. currently the Asset Declaration Act what it does is so be a public officer. The only thing it tells you to do is declare your assets. A be my form. Now I fill a form. You seal it, then you submit it. That is all. As to whether the content of the form are correct and then you're correct, we don't have any mechanism to check that. As to whether a lot of public officials, declare assets, say there's no way a bind be check say asema match on no cry and no cry. Some of them cry put in it things that they are yet to acquire.
Okay.
Inti say ne me be public officer na me wadan ba ko a minim say position a me cremate me nyandan mienu miensa ansa na me fi aban mu no. I will end up writing say me wadan miensa ana enai. Currently the law that borders on asset declaration and the various anti-corruption institutions that power to investigate. But bill I can say me say pass it into law. Provisions in it ebe strengthen the anti-corruption institutions to ensure say ampa the asset declaration I can say adia ye diso pepepe see that to say diso. There thought to be so we share the content of the bill now. It talks strongly about sexual harassment. Now, I mean, most people use Omo office, especially at the public sector. Omo use Omo office for their personal gain. It includes sexual harassment. Some of them will even go to the extent and you take stories every now and then, especially from the ladies. Because look, me concern ka me kwa kopejuma was so and so public office. But penny or da no ka make advances. Say oni me beda ansana. Oni me be say ansana. Or even omami ejuma no kra me be ejume mu ase there oni me flirty and all those things.
Okay.
It borders on it. See ayeka say we don't really have any clear law that deals with that. And until the bill when it is passed into law, it best strengthen the anti-corruption institutions to talk about these things. Aside that, one other thing which is very, very important has to do with conflict of interest.
Okay.
Today, I can say, minya positioner, the ehiane say minya position. Ochina, ye probi a ye be employee no a, mitumi use me position to influence it. No makasi yemfa minya enhye hono. Obi kra mi cry be a private ejuma and I may wa private ejuma bia because me cry public positions me to me influence position me to me influence no makasi look me institution no mondele with me yere company and I'm mondele with me new company and I'm mondele with me company bia me was some ties to. Okay. The current bill no when it passed and I pass into law. The important thing is that it will deal with conflict of interest. One other thing, very interesting, has to do with financial portfolios. Currently, you don't have any law clearly. Ebeka say enema appoint to into public officer. Whether or not you have any relationship with any individual, it be a family business and all that. And you see what is so interesting? Very recently. This case of Cecilia Dapa, Ebeto just say you probe into it. What we are getting is you can't cry any media, and all that. This bill, when you pass it into law, public officials, the various anti-corruption institutions, to probe and to identify whether or not individuals or public offices, whether they have any ties with any family businesses and all that. Okay, this person, because Okra position we our ties to this family business, it will help us to even get public officials to account for, wealth that they amass all of a sudden. Okay, inti yenche say a bill at the end of the day ne beba be law na say emra pinoa ene wo man mu a eba no enforcement na edin. Mami misa edin na bema emrewe eba be dance on set the enforcement ebetuma yejuma how certain are we? In fact, you see the truth of the matter is say DBI you can say you can anti-corruption laws institutions are Ghana you are more than enough. The problem of this country is enforcement and no two ways about that. The good thing is you see your judiciary courts. You will be a friend of administrative laws. say embra share any institution say it is a certain thing. Na institution fail say obey sa ade na. As long as embra no hono no. CSO so say ye individual so ye whatever. Who was akwenya say ube take embra no to court. No akoko catch court argue your case. Court no betumi I enforce by telling and demanding from these institutions and say ABC the Nembrano HSA say we, but you are not doing it, so you are supposed to do it.
Okay.
The truth is, yes, there were so many laws they are not being enforced, but as long as it is a law, no, you better say we don't have a law at all.
Mate na the call ya mo diaba no petition president mo petition parliament na. Yeah, first call. Release to okay.
The intention of the release no to invite. In fact, I'll share the content now. Is to invite other CSOs and then particularly the media to team up with all of us. Na who say we benefiting. This one is a call to bring everyone on board. Anope release statements. In fact, you release statements no. Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, Imani Ghana, Ghana Coalition for Anti-Corruption, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, AGACC, CMAC, Citizens Movement Against Corruption, and then JII, Ghana Integrity Initiative. In fact, you release in AF5, you release these statements. I have received so many calls from other anti-corruption institutions and good governance institutions. They would have even appended their signature to it. It tells us the call no The first is to bring all of you on board. Platform it's an indication say you support it. Next week, the next line of action is officially you petition the president. Say adiano indu parliament here. Ewo cabinet stage. Until say president and cabinet be approve no. Parliament has nothing to do with it. Into a petition president nyame aduma next week. In the petition you be ma ultimatum. Say ultimatum no elapse. Na still a president enye bibia fa ho ya. We will take the next line of action. By a bomb say ultimatum, no, it will not even last. But president will see wisdom in it for us to pass it. The one case here, and it say the president and our cabinet attitude to this particular bill. Now, compared to other bills, are a better ominim. And when keka omo SBT ya omo pass and omo approve ye do parliament, no. One say the president wants corruption to be fought. This bill about better cabinet in him for over a year. It looks like Omunya so interested in it. Omunya interested. To me actually. I don't want to assume, but to me actually. But from the what kind of bill ene akodrom hon ma waso munya approve afi ho neba parliament no edie na wonu ne se ewomu a emomo drag you feet twe omo nan ase omo empase man. Well, it is possible, very possible, based on assumption, very possible say look, this bill no it will check the public mate check ne can say I say ebegina omo na se be hwe omo na montu very well. Enti ebia it is possible say ebia omo empenisa ebia it can be it bet me any other reason. But for whatever it is no omo ankasa aban akere yen say omo wo ahonkeka in passing bills and approving bills e-levy any all the other bills that you can think of ebi wo hokre could do aban for less than a week na omo approve na ababe dane law enunti no whatever be the reason no a very difficult say aban be to me a convincing and say or any tangible reason enunti over a year ni the bill a conduct of Code of Conduct for Public Officers bill no omo twetwe omo nan ewo ho but truthfully no it needs to be passed. Okay, Wilson ye share asset declaration no obi beka say was ministers nko a na wo declare wo asset. We have chief executive officers ye wo ma ye government appointees
omo various public institutions are womo adwuma was say extend the one man.
In fact, the current Asset Declaration Act cover all government appointees.
Okay.
Even including parliamentarians.
Okay.
Credits, declare assets. But the last check 2020, by the end of the first term of His Excellency Akufo-Addo, check suggested say appointees, government officials, including MPs, declare assets now it was less than 40%.
Okay.
And I know me declare assets. This time, that we say in assessment here. But from 2016, end of 2020, now it was less than 40%.
Mate,
and declare more assets.
Your breast one is signed to me, Pacho, 30 seconds. Dear no beka chato.
30 seconds, they make a chat and say, Bill ye, a bill as a passing into law, and a bayan bra, a beboy especially ye taxpayers, a beboy yenina. And this call, and yet just a call for CSO spec. A call for media men, media women, media practitioners. A strongly a call for obi bia or Ghana hanimo. Or ye taxpayer. Yenina yenfa yentuma embo yediano. Na yenina yembum enkantre abain se enimeni ya cabinet en approve bill no. Na enko back to parliament and enko to parliament. Se eko parliamenta e honmo de ye wogidie pa se enimeni edu honmo a de ye be ya omo be pass into law no. Enya de be den but se de hia kese ne se aban ebetu anamo cabinet betu anamo ama yen approve so that ebe move to parliament.
Mate we de etewo eba no civil servants na ye can asset declaration say ajapadie bi a wo na wo se utudin e ma yehunu na wo se extend come so na
civil servants well there's no need for us to say enti say e come so.
Okay.
In fact obi bia ye de taxes etua won ka bia no inka ni papemu a it say omu declare omu assets but one step at a time.
Okay.
The here yensisi a eye won a omu ye appointees omu dida all the government institutions ano omu a ye de taxes etua won ka directly eno womu nso a omu de ye tax omu hwe ye taxes eso to say ministers to say MCs MPs president, vice president, cabinet, omu nyina it say omu declare omu assets.
Okay.
Now omu declare ye wogidie kese passes so omu to me ya then gradually ye be extending it to the other individuals.
Okay. Now nene nansa I just say was enra. Just on some so John Kuma a deputy finance minister. Now okasi say the government appointees they living in fear. I say ehu abowo mo enamo de ye ma Cecilia Abnada Padi see here. The Ghana ni no hunu se sika ni nyina na kwakodi ministers ho ni nyina kodi government appointees ho ti ne ho che na eye wo mo a woni wo mo ya adwon form so na se wo se sa adwon mo yi free team.
Well I didn't it so mo yi free omu team. Of course omu na omu hwe yesika so yemfa ni say look omu be government appointees na se be no omu ina nenam ye no omu nete the same vicinity ni ade ene unimobi na sebe other single room. Now, dear betting less than a month and less than a year, ni bibia assessor. Obviously, there's a cause for to be worried.
Okay.
And you see the conduct nankasa of the officials nankasa, it creates a whole lot of impression in the minds of taxpayers. Say yeah, right impression and yeah, wrong impression. It creates a lot of impression in the minds of people. And now yeah, can say, Oda now be sorry, near say $1 million. Okay. Obi bedroom. What impression is it creating?
Mate. Mama na say ya braso Emmanuel Wilson Jr. Chief Crusader CSO in governance and anti-corruption na nwumre ye ne no edi nkomo ne dia meje so ene abena pokua ahwen ne mada wase ama umu ene hwe